this recorder. Good morning, friends and family at SUU. I'm grateful. Tony Pellegrini here with another setting for our teaching and learning at Southern Utah University, what makes us unique, different, and special. We've got as a guest today, Cynthia Kimball Davis. I'm going to let Cynthia tell a little about her background, her experience here at SUU, what makes SUU unique and special for her, and her teaching and learning. Cynthia, could you take a moment or two and introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself and what you do here at SUU?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me. I love SUU. I've been here, I'm going on 4 years, and I'm the chair of the Integrative and Engaged Studies Department. It's a new role. And so in that we have interdisciplinary studies in this department, bachelors of interdisciplinary studies, bachelors of general studies, masters of interdisciplinary studies, EDGE program, honors program, things like that. And so what I love at SUU and I love about teaching and learning is how supportive our administration is for our teaching and learning. They want us to do great things. As a matter of fact, one thing that I've really kind of gravitated towards, that having a sense of belonging in our classrooms. And so for me, that is something I've kind of taken on. I always want someone in my classroom, whether it's face-to-face or online, to feel like they belong. And so I do various different things to do that. But so that's one of the things that I've gravitated to and really work to focus on and make stronger so that I can reach various students in different ways to create that sense of belonging.
I've got to interrupt you just a second and give a personal example, Cynthia. You have my son Matt in one of your classes. When he started the semester with you, he came home and he said, he came by our house. He doesn't live with us anymore. He came by and he said, "Do you know this Cynthia something Davis?" He said, "Cynthia Kimball Davis, I love her." He said, "I love her too. She gets, for some reason, you really connected with him." And as a dad, I have to say, thank you. Thank you very, very much for the connections that you make with your students. It's so important to be able to feel like, even if I've got a dad down the street, I've got a teacher who is happy to be involved in my life.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Tony. I realized that it's not anything that I've created, but that if you know student names and if you know something about them, and that makes a difference. But one thing that has really, with a sense of belonging, is giving positive feedback. And even in a syllabus, I had one student say that she had to reread the syllabus again. And I say this humbly, but she had to reread the syllabus again to, said, "You will do great in this class, I just know it." To give them that hope that they may not have going into a class and the fear that they have sometimes initially. So those are some things that have created a sense of belonging that I've worked to do, in addition to one that's been really helpful is to use the pronoun we. I'll say, "We'll get through this. We've got this. We can do that," especially with students who feel like, "How am I going to get through this? I'm taking 18 credits. Your class is just one among many others." But when I use we, it makes a difference. They don't feel alone, whether they're working on a project, whether they're in the classroom and they're in a group project, we can do this. And I say that in the face-to-face classes, and I also, and I think more importantly, it makes a difference in the online classes using that pronoun we. So that's been one that's really helpful. Do you want me to keep going, or?
Well, no, I think that's very, very, very powerful. I think that more and more we're going to see students at a distance that need that education that you can provide them, that we can provide them here, and to understand that we're a part. We're in this together. It's not just us against them or us against the world. We're in this together.
Right.
One little topic that I would like you to address that I think that is absolutely, first of all, I have to say, 4 years, holy cow, Cynthia, it seems like last night I was sitting across the table with you down the street here in your past position. Time flies so much when you're enthusiastic and you have a powerful, positive perspective on where you are and where you're going. Time just seems to fly. But the example that I wanted to provide our listeners to of you is particularly regarding the comment, stepping outside your comfort zone. You, from my perspective, over the last 4 years, you've lived a little bit outside of your comfort zone, maybe just slightly outside of that comfort zone. But how does living outside that comfort zone help you to think better, to change the way that you do your work?
Thank you, Tony. I love it because even though it might be, oh, where am I going? What's happening? It stretches us and we grow. And I think when we stretch and grow, we become better teachers, we become better people, and it helps us in our leadership roles and our teaching roles. So I actually welcome that. Sometimes it happens, change can happen, a lot more can happen at once than at other times, but I actually welcome it because it helps me become who I think I'm supposed to become, and it helps me be better in all facets of my life. So yes, absolutely. In the last year, I changed from a director position, a staff position, to now a faculty and administrator role, and going through a tenure process. So sometimes that change is good, and it actually, I've learned to embrace it instead of saying, oh my goodness, what's happening here? And I think I've had some help things over the years, and that's kind of helped me too, instead of saying, what's going on here, saying, especially even change here in positions, embrace the change, what can I learn from it, and what can I do with it? And so that's what I've tried to do, is in stepping outside of my comfort zone with change, is what can I learn from this, how can I embrace it, and what am I supposed to do with this?
That is wonderful. So much we want to be able to control our destinies, to control our environments, to control the context in which we live. And quite frankly, sometimes it's out of our control. We have to put faith in a higher setting or situation that good is going to come from this. Cynthia, just would like to ask you to just take another moment or two, share with any maybe new faculty or students that would be thinking about coming to SUU. How can they succeed in this first year? What are some perspectives or guidance that you would give them to say, hey, if you'll do X, Y, and Z, you can really make this a successful year?
I think one of the key things, and I tell this to my students, I say, when someone asks you how you are, instead of saying good, say you're excellent. It will change you, and it will change other people. And it just has really made a difference. And I remember one of my classes, everyone looked at me like, are you crazy, lady? When I first said that at first. But then when I would say it, I would ask it each time I saw them. And they would say, fantastic, excellent, awesome. And that actually set the framework for the attitude, and as they went forward into the other classes. And I even saw some of those words on the evaluations that I got. So I would say that, we're sometimes conditioned to say that I'm good or I'm okay, but to actually say I'm excellent and I'm outstanding and fantastic, even if we don't feel that way, to put that out there. And then the more I learned, the more I say it, and I've seen from my students, the more they say it, they actually feel that way. They become excellent. They really do. And then the people that they communicate with, it's contagious. So I would say to be hopeful. And when someone, just that one little thing for me, there's a lot of common answers that maybe other faculty say, but that is one thing that I create your own reality and make it a positive reality instead of, oh gosh, here I go again to, I've got this. And can I just say a quick story?
Please. I'd love to hear it.
One student that came in last semester, and she had come back to school after years, and she came into my office and was bawling and saying, I'm not smart enough to reply on discussion boards. I said, oh my goodness, tell me about yourself. And she told me about herself. I said, you're more qualified and your experience to give responses on discussion boards probably than a lot of those people. This is their first time ever in an online class. Well, that student graduated successfully, is so excited, and so much so that she applied for a master's degree here at SUU. and wants to work here and get a job here. And her countenance, everything about her, because she chose to say, I can do this. And she actually created a sign for me that says, you got this. Because not only would I say, and it wasn't anything I did, but the coaching that we can do to students, her framework and her self-talk to herself made a difference, that she changed just in her countenance, and she began to say, I can do this, I've got this. Now she's going to a master's degree, and now she even wants a job. She wants to be in this culture just from changing how her perception about herself and what she was saying to herself. It was amazing.
Thank you so very much for that story. You made me pull off my credenza behind me. I have a little flyer, and I'm going to take a picture of my phone and send it to you in a minute. And to any of our listeners, if you want it, send me an email. I promise I'll share this with you. But it's a little card that says ways and words of encouragement. Ways that we can encourage others: applause, high five, cheer, wink, approving nod. I'm not going to read them all to you, but words that we can use. Well done, remarkable, super, you make a difference. I knew you could do it. It just gives you on and on words that we can use, a vocabulary that we can use, even if we're not very comfortable with those, by using them and practicing them through the example that you provided just a moment ago. So powerful to change our own personality and the world in which we live.
Absolutely.
Cynthia, thank you so very much for your willingness to participate today. I'm grateful for your time and effort. We look forward to seeing you across campus, your smile and lifting us up with your positive attitude, and keep doing the great things you're doing, Miss.
Awesome. Thank you. You too, Tony. Thanks so
You
much.
have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.